Happy to have you along, my fellow tech enthusiasts. I'm Sam Bushman, Jay Harrison with me. We keep an eye on tech so you don't have to. This broadcast is brought to you by NetworkProvidersInc.com. Check out their website about the services we offer: building websites, a help desk, security, strategic vision from IT professionals embedded in your company, and a whole lot more. NetworkProvidersInc.com, the website for the show, NPITechGuys.com. Check that out as well for the audio versions and the the video versions of the show. We're still trying to get one of the most technical people I know, Jay Harrison, on camera, ladies and gentlemen. This is like a tech. I don't know if we're gonna have to clone him or get a robot version or what we're gonna have to do, but he's afraid of the camera, ladies and gentlemen.
He's a little camera shy. You guys are glad that I'm not, though. You know, really.
No, we got to get you on camera, man. In order for me to promote this show into the big time, we got to get you on camera. We look foolish and low tech, Jay.
I'm a radio guy for a reason, but you know.
All right. Anyway, all I'm telling you is it's very, very interesting what's going on in the news. So here's what happens. I use AI a lot now to see what headlines are out there, and I just keep an eye on it and everything. And I say, hey, show me the top 15 tech headlines or whatever, and I just see what they are. And that doesn't mean I only do those stories or I just rely on that exclusively. I do my homework and everything, but I use that just to see what am I missing, what's going on, what. And I got back the last several weeks I've done this, just nothing but the same headlines. Chips are down, stocks are down, tech is struggling, AI is laying everybody off, security's a big meltdown, and it's just like there's nothing new.
You need a happier AI, Sam.
Well, so then I basically said, hey, I want to see tech news that's unique and different, not just these standard headlines. And I got back a bunch of pretty cool stuff. And
that's where a ton of stuff, too. I mean, I'm surprised at how much. I don't even think we'll cover it all in one show.
Well, and that's where the last episode, for example, we talked about that man that had that new capability with his electronic arms or whatever you want to call it, wired into his brain and everything else. It's pretty interesting stuff for sure, especially if you're a blind person like me. How long will it be till they can do that for the eyes? We'll get into all that, though, in a future show. But I want to kind of go through some of these just standard headlines real quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time on them. I just want to go through them to kind of illustrate what I'm talking about. AI chips stocks drop as investors question the next phase of the AI boom. See, that's negative. Technology stocks fell sharply. Okay. White House launches AI and cybersecurity coordination initiative. They're worried about security. They're worried about AI. The government wants to be in the middle of it, which I'm concerned about. Cybersecurity firms gain attention as AI security becomes top concern. It's a growing concern. Critical SharePoint security flaw. So Microsoft SharePoint now has a security flaw that could be subject to attack. Wow, okay. Security Week gives us that. They got Splunk. I don't know what Splunk is. Do you, Jay?
It's like a video thing like Zoom.
All right. Well, anyway, Splunk and Zoom get hacked. Both companies issued patches that could expose credentials, compromise accounts, or allow unauthorized access. Now, when I say they got hacked, I don't know that they really leaked data, but they have vulnerabilities that got exposed, right?
Right.
Coca-Cola's Fairlife production. So if you ever drink Fairlife, that kind of muscle milk kind of a drink or whatever you want to call it.
I've never even heard
Coke.
of that. So
okay, I have. I've drank it. You don't look in the aisle and find drinks though, Jay.
I guess not. No.
All right. Anyway, so Fairlife, it's kind of like a chocolate milk substance, but it's like for energy and it's for health and people who work out use it and stuff. It's like a protein drink kind of.
Sam's on the cutting edge.
Anyway, Fairlife though, so they had a ransomware attack, and so the cyber attack forced the suspension of the production for a while. So they got. Wow. I mean, this is Coke, people. Japanese food manufacturers restore systems after cyber attack. NVIDIA expands AI infrastructure. Partnership in Japan. So now they're working with the Japanese government. Apple and OpenAI face new legal challenges. So Apple filed a trade secret lawsuit. So there's a big old lawsuit between the two biggest, two huge companies or whatever. Google faces AI setbacks on multiple fronts. Reports indicate delays affecting Gemini and their AI development, while the company also confronts new copyright issues. And okay, so just nothing more but lawsuits and security and hacking and problems. And IBM's warning raises questions about enterprise IT spending. Everyone's saying, wow, AI is great, but man, can we spend this kind of money?
Yeah, it's funny how you get these competing things. On one hand, you'll say yeah, oh, there's such a shortage. Everybody's doing this. It's crazy. AI's booming at the seams. And then you have the exact opposite story in the same headline in the same news cycle. That's like,
I know, it's
everybody's,
crazy.
yeah. like
That's what I mean by, and they repeat it at week after week after week. Everybody's getting laid off, but then there's new AI jobs. And anyway, the largest contract chip maker reaffirmed aggressive AI investment and demand for advanced semiconductor production. This is exactly what you're talking about. Then they're like, the chip makers can't make enough. It's like, wait a minute, what?
Right.
Cloud providers face new regulatory pressure. Governments continue expanding oversight of cloud infrastructure, and so that's an issue. And then AI competition intensifies as new models challenge industry leaders. And then they say rapid releases from multi AI developers are increasing competitive pressure across the industry. And AI infrastructure spending remains strong despite volatile. Wait a minute, we just said that people are wondering if they should spend so much. Okay, fine. Anyway, it's a big old. I wanted to rifle through that because
It's
that's
like-
kind of the boredom that I have and the conflicts that I have to where it's like, I don't even know that that's what we're talking about, Jay.
It's
so
like
I
they're hedging
jettisoned
their
all
bets.
those. Agreed. It's like they don't know where it falls, and they. So anyway, that's kind of the main headlines that we saw, and I wanted to rifle through those so you guys get what I'm talking about.
Look, on a
But
side
now I
note,
want to talk about
you really.
Huh?
I said on a side note, you really went through those headlines a lot faster than I thought you were going to. So that's good,
Yeah, I don't really want to spend time on them because they're boring, Jay.
right?
We keep an eye on tech so you don't have to, and it's not so you can just get bored with all kinds of goofy stuff that conflicts and doesn't make any sense anyway. I don't care if the big corporate enterprise world's spending a bunch of money on IT and they're fearful and the government's going to monitor them and everybody's concerned. Who cares? It doesn't relate to me. I'm not in that big enterprise world anyway.
It's the state of tech right now, right?
Yeah, so just ignore all that. And now let's talk about something that I find interesting. There's two stories, and I wouldn't say they're competing stories, but they're interesting stories. And that's why I bring them to your attention. I'm going to give you the second one first. Smart glasses without cameras aim to provide, quote, heads-up information while avoiding many of the privacy concerns surrounding glasses with always-on recording. So they're already providing an answer for the concern, which I really like. You can get these glasses without cameras, and they can do a lot of different things. They just don't have cameras to record, Jay.
Right.
And that's an answer to this next story, which we want to talk about. Jay, let's start with you on this one.
Okay, well, so on those cameras, those glasses that are doing that, we're giving you kind of augmented reality, giving you information on stuff. They do have cameras on them. Don't mistake that they don't. They're trying not to just record everybody or do these kind of in your face recordings that people are
so
having
the
a problem
cameras are
with.
used for different purposes, not the purposes that betray you or cause the problem. So the next headline are smart glasses turning everyone into a, quote, hidden camera.
They are, and here's the problem
yeah.
with privacy is that these glasses like the Meta Ray-Bans and the you see a lot of these also on TikTok and places that are selling them. The Meta Ray-Bans are hundreds of dollars, but they have ones that are $50 to $70, so people are getting them. And they're moving from novelty to mainstream technology, but they raise concerns about privacy and consent. What appears to be an ordinary pair of glasses may actually be capable of taking photos, recording video, and capturing audio with little notice. Recent incidents.
It's very hard to know when someone's actually doing it or not, too, Jay.
That's right. They say that in recent incidents, people can find them unexpectedly featured online. There's wearable technology that's more common. We got to understand how these devices work and how to safeguard privacy. You can watch for indicators. They say smart glasses have LEDs that illuminate sometimes when there's recording. You can learn what these lights look like, but remember they can be difficult to notice, especially in bright environments and stuff. I've seen there's guys that set up shop in their van or whatever, and they purposely, singularly, all they do is they disable those lights. You give them your glasses, you give them $20, they open them up, they disable or cut the leads to the recording light so that you don't have a light when you're recording with these. But what you need to do is assume that when you're in public spaces are public, and you are probably being recorded somewhere. If it's not on somebody's glasses, it's on a CCTV or it's on a drone or wherever. You're in public, you're being recorded. But you got to. They say you can speak up respectfully. If you believe somebody's recording you, you can politely ask whether they are using a recording device. Request that they stop. Doesn't mean that they will.
So
They
someone
probably
said
won't.
they were recording me and Zach just yesterday. And then Zach's like, are you really recording us? And the guy's like, no. But I'm just saying it's that pervasive, Jay.
Yeah, but it says know the rules because laws vary by state, but private settings such as restrooms, dressing rooms, medical facilities, Other places that are private property can have a reasonable expectation of privacy, and they generally prohibit unauthorized recording. And they also go on to say, protect your digital footprint. Be mindful about what you share online, since images or videos captured without your knowledge can spread quickly through social media. Glasses are just another example of technology that's outpacing the social norms, and we've got to be aware of it. And that's the biggest thing: be aware of it and be ready for it. And you're not always going to be able to. In fact, a lot of people revel in this idea of, it reminds me of the people that are auditors. You see these guys with cameras, and they're out there recording in public. They're wanting to get people riled up and mad, and they're wanting to have interactions with the police and stuff so that they can, file lawsuits or whatever. But if you kind of ignore them, or you're just like, whatever, and you're not going to make the YouTube video because there was no action there. There was no conflict.
Yeah, they want something. So you got to watch their behavior, unusual behavior. If someone repeatedly faces you without interacting naturally, they kind of do some weird taps. Then you can kind of feel like what's going on.
It
and
kind of
just
tells.
walk away from those people. Just go do your own thing and leave them alone, and they'll find somebody else that's more interesting in a hurry.
Yeah, and it's not just glasses either. I've seen earrings that have cameras in them.
Smart glasses are just the latest example of technology outpacing social norms, if you will. The challenge isn't just the devices themselves. It's a balance between respect and convenience and need to record versus not. And, we're really getting, well, I'll give you an example. When I first had a cell phone, it was like a big, huge thing, Jay.
Yeah, like the Motorola brick.
Even bigger than that, though. I mean, I had a car phone before that even.
No, like a bag phone.
I'd sometimes bring a bag phone into a restaurant once in a while if I was waiting for something because I'm in radio and I needed – it was back when you had to FCC 24/7 monitor things, and we didn't have near the connectivity we have now. And anyway, long story short, my wife would just be like, put that freaking thing away. Put that thing back in the car. Come, you can't. And so it was so out of the social norm. And now it's like, if you're not talking on your phone, is something wrong with you?
You have to assume that you're being recorded anywhere you are in public.
That's right.
Why they also
my
say,
whole point, though, is the norm is going to change, though, to where now it's weird, but it won't be long until it's like, well, who doesn't record the interactions? We're going to get there, Jay. I don't want to, but I think we are.
I know it. Just assume. Don't talk about private stuff in a restaurant. There's lots of things that you should be mindful of.
I heard Jay's buying a robot. Is that true, Jay?
I wish. It's not true.
Okay, well, shoot. People are buying them, though. I'll tell you about it in seconds. This is the one and only Tech Watch. We keep an eye on tech so you don't have to.
Have you ever had great honey? No, I mean really good, all-natural, raw honey? Well, now you can, thanks to localhoneyman.com. We can ship out our locally made honey all across the U.S. So don't worry, you won't miss out. Plus, Local Honeyman has so many different flavors, like Utah Wildflower, High Desert Delight, Happy Valley, and Blackberry, just to name a few. So purchase your delicious raw honey today at localhoneyman.com.
Cybercrime is exploding. Take Sarah from Sweet Delights, whose world crumbled after having to close with not being able to bounce back. Small businesses are prime targets, but the right strategies can keep yours safe. Jay Hill, CEO of Network Providers, has co-authored the Cyber Playbook Simplifies Cybersecurity for Business Owners with Strategies to avoid costly breaches and fines, build a strong cyber attack response, secure your business with key protections. Cyber threats aren't slowing down, but you can stay ahead. Protect your business. Ensure its security for tomorrow. Get the Cyber Playbook today at networkprovidersinc.com/cyber-playbook or call 385-446-5500 now.
Household robots continue moving closer to reality and closer to your home and life as companies are demonstrating machines that climb stairs, fold laundry, translate languages, and assist with mobility. That's kind of an interesting twist, ladies and gentlemen. they're interesting, Jay, because they're getting more capable. They've got a robot now. I can't remember what it's called right this second, but it runs on wheels, and you kind of hold on to it. And it's kind of a robot guide dog for blind people now.
Well, I have not seen that.
They're demonstrating that, and it's kind of an interesting thing, and it's pretty smart and pretty good. It's small and light, and you don't have to feed it or do anything, but you do got to charge it. I guess you got to feed it electricity.
Right.
Anyway, but it's kind of interesting, and they're doing more and more of this stuff. And so I wanted to talk about these entry-level human robots because they're doing more things. A lot of people have vacuums. That's kind of the most common use of one of these things. Our producer, Zach, even has one of those and loves that thing. And I got one and tried it, and it didn't work very well, so I sent it back. I hated it. So there you go.
I want a robot lawnmower. I know they make them. They're just expensive.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
So let me give you some pricing just so you kind of understand what you got to expect. And again, I think over the next several years, this pricing will come down significantly. But here it is. They call it an entry-level human assistant robot. They're $5,000 to $15,000. They're mostly developer research models right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have the consumer-focused home robot, $20,000 to $30,000, Jay.
This is
1X
where like
Tesla.
the
They're
Tesla
working in this
Optimus
range
and stuff.
primarily.
Yep.
And ability, though, is still limited in those things. Advanced industrial humanoids is what they're called, Jay. You know about those advanced industrial humanoids, bro?
These are the guys that'll be working in the factory and stuff, right?
They're AIHs, yeah.
Yeah.
$100,000 to $250,000 plus, they say. $100,000 to $250,000 plus. And they're supposed to be super awesome, like capable to do all kind of things, but they're limited in task, but they're really, really good at those tasks.
And they can work at 16 hours a day when they're not charging.
Yes, sir. And the bottom line is household robots are no longer sci-fi, Jay.
It's a great idea, but I still feel like it's like flying cars. I don't, they've been
still expensive, and they're very limited in their capabilities, but they say within the next 5-10 years, many analysts expect prices to fall big time, and they'll be improving, making them practical for more homes.
That's what they said 5 years ago.
That. Well, but Jay, we've made progress now.
I know.
We have driving cars that drive themselves, and we also have vacuums that vacuum your house and lawnmowers that mow your lawn. And so I agree that it's slow, and I agree people think it's going to be tomorrow, and it's not, but yet it's going to come faster than we think, though.
I know. It's just going to make us – it's just going to change the work that we're doing. It's kind of just redesigned. So instead of mowing your lawn and folding your laundry, you're going to be managing your bot and getting it repaired and, doing these other things.
That's right.
For it. And while it's doing those other – it's just kind of changing you from a household worker to a robot manager.
Well, what I want is a fleet of agents that can do things. I mean, I want them cleaning my garage and mowing my lawn and vacuuming my floor and cutting my hair and feeding or making my food and going to pick up my prescriptions. And, I want the multi-agent plan, Jay.
You don't want like a boiler room of guys making phone calls and sending spam email and stuff like that for you? And,
No. I just want productive, cool tasks and stuff. I want one of my bots to make cookies and bring them to Jay's family. And I just want to be like on God's
I'm on
errand
board
and
with that
stuff
plan.
with all my bots and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like
It's like, hey man, we made Thai food, and so we're bringing you over some Thai food for dinner because we're kind of the service guys. We're the ministering angels with our bots, and so we're that's the guy I want to be, man. I just want
Everybody
to control
loves
all my
this
bots
idea.
and be a ministering angel to everybody.
Yeah, everybody loves this
Everywhere I go.
idea. We want Rosie from the Jetsons, right, to just be handling everything. But I don't know
that. Yes, sir.
if it's going to happen.
I want a bot to be an attorney too. If somebody sues me, just send Rosie, the attorney bot, over there.
Yeah.
Take care of business. She'll sue your socks off, and then when you decide you want to cry uncle, she'll be like, okay, we'll stop now. I'm going to send Tina, the cookie delivery lady, over to say we're so sorry, and we love you, and it's all good, and quit suing us, and we'll be kind too, and, we'll just go there, right, Jay?
The world will be a better place.
Yes, it will. By the way, speaking of the world being a better place, Jay, multiple monitor setups remain one of the biggest productivity upgrades for office workers, they say now.
100%.
And I couldn't agree with this more, Jay.
I know. It's one of the cheapest, too. One of the cheapest, biggest bang for your buck. If you're on a single monitor, go to a multi-monitor setup, and you will be like, how did I ever get along without this?
Yeah, for sure. And it's gotten to where people don't even want to work. They're just like, you know what? I got one monitor now. I'm just not going to work today. I'll work tomorrow. I'll catch up anyways.
It boggles me how people do this, because it also, what boggles me is how people work on a phone on that tiny screen. And I'm like, man, I've got to have I use actually mostly a single monitor at work, but it's a 4K monitor, so it's the equivalent of 4 monitors in
Yeah,
one.
because it's huge, and you can put multiple things in sections.
But even then, I still have a side monitor that I use for presentations or for putting, ping windows and things that you're trying to monitor or whatever on. But I don't really work from that monitor so much, but still.
My son Ben is a super web developer and everything else. He develops applications and software for colleges and schools and different things. Anyway, and he basically has like 6 monitors, dude.
Yeah, you just can't get enough once you go down
And
that
he
road.
puts things everywhere, and so he's just like, man, I just need it because I need to compare things. I need to refer to things. And if I have to load and stop and unload and do this and that, it's just not. So I just let it all rip and display, and then I just work.
Pretty soon, we just need to be in a spherical like IMAX, and where you can just have monitors.
Well, it's going to get
everywhere.
more too, because what's going to happen, Jay, is you're going to start getting agents that are in certain monitors, and all you got to do is keep an eye on that agent, right?
Yeah, you'll be monitoring the agent who will be working on your behalf.
Yeah, I just need multiple CPUs now because my CPU gets all tied up, my memory gets all tied up. So now I got to have a cluster of like 20 computers and 30 monitors, and then I just got to be the master control guy and put all the agents to work, Jay.
You're going to be the IT guy working on all that stuff when it breaks down.
No, it can't break down. Bots have got to fix that. I'll just send my, I'll call it Jake the IT bot, and he'll just fix all that, Jay.
And then it'll all be Jake.
I need the bot delivering cookies and making cookies and food and cutting hair and remember all those tasks, Jay?
Yeah.
I got to have that happening, bro.
That's a tall order right now.
All right. Well, Asana announced the acquisition of what's called Stack AI, Jay. Do you know about this?
I don't. Asana sounds familiar, but I can't remember.
It's a software company, right?
Yeah.
And the goal, it's a race to build what they call AI-powered workplace tools and agents. And so basically they're building the infrastructure for Sam to have what he wants. Now, it's not the automation part. You got to understand, AI is more of a thinking, a reasoning, and a gather information for you.
That whole
Whereas
article,
automation is taking action, Jay. People need to understand the difference between thinking and action, right?
Right. That whole article to me sounds like the buzzword salad of today's news headline.
It is, without question. But Jay, if it becomes real though, then they're building the infrastructure for me to have what I want.
Yeah.
All you got to do is get the automation part where the robots can do their part, and the agents can tell them what to do, and I can just kick it on back, man.
Yeah, and they'll charge you a monthly fee for it, an exorbitant monthly fee.
Of course they will. But I'll just find a bot to raise the money for that.
Right.
See? Because I can do a bot that'll be out there and like, Sam's on the bleeding edge of this cool tech. He's delivering the whole world cookies, man.
And as long as your bots can make whatever that cost is X plus 1, then you're all right.
Roger that. Yes, sir. Now you got that picture. You're thinking right, Jay. You're on target, buddy. So that's what's happening. It's very interesting. And, a lot of it sounds cool, but it isn't going to be here very soon because the AI regulation debate intensifies in Washington, says the next headline. Federal policymakers continue evaluating AI oversight, security, quote, safeguards, and compliance frameworks for advanced models. So they're digging in and saying, all it means when they do this is it's going to slow down, Jay. I think there's a lot of good and necessity to it, but it's also frustrating if you want the future to come quicker, right?
I agree 100%. People they say, well, it's the Wild West. And I also agree. I understand that. And you do want some oversight of it.
You don't want to stifle innovation.
Right. It's a hard balance to achieve, right?
Without question. So the next headline says cybersecurity expert push new AI security standards. Industry leaders are meeting to develop security practices aimed at protecting an increasingly powerful AI system from, quote, misuse.
Which is smart, but I don't know how
somebody might
much
take my
enforcement
cookie making bot and they might like put poison in the cookies or something, Jay.
Yeah.
See? They can't be having that, bro.
This is a great idea.
I gotta have a guard bot.
I think it's good because these guys are putting together, their ideas, and they can pass that to legislators. They can do stuff. We'll see how it turns out. We'll be on top of it.
All I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I need a guard bot to keep an eye on my cookie maker so no one poisons the cookies. You see what I'm talking about? I got a lot going on in the world, baby. So I need computing power like you wouldn't believe. Build me my own personal data center, would you please?
Yes, sir.
For Sam and Jay, that's Tech Watch. We keep an eye on tech so you don't have to. NPITechguys.com, networkprovidersinc.com. Hey, make it a great